Assalamualaikum everybody, welcome back to the Weekly Dean Show. My name is Dew Francis and I'm your host. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything under the Muslim sun, from social issues, current affairs, and sometimes even big questions about life itself. Think of it like a coffee shop conversation without the beer auntie walking around asking you to buy beer. Tonight, we are gonna explore something very close to us. We are gonna explore a topic called healing. Not just healing your flu or backache, but healing in a way that connects both this life and the after. So what does it mean by taking care of ourselves, body, mind, and soul while preparing for the afterlife? Can modern medicine and spiritual practices work hand in hand, or are they actually worlds apart? Here's the thing, in Islam, health is amanah, a trust from Allah. The Prophet Muhammad said, your body has a right over you. That means looking after our health isn't just a lifestyle, it's a choice, it's ibadah. At the same time, illness and suffering can be a purification, a test, a reminder of akhirat. So healing isn't just about popping Panadols, it's about aligning our bodies, our hearts, and our faith. And let's be real, sometimes when we tell our family that we are sick, they will just tell us to just sabar. But we also know that Allah told us to seek cure. So how do we balance patience, dua, and medical treatment? So tonight we are going to talk about how healing works for both dunya and akhirat and how they actually work hand in hand. But before that, we are going to the streets and ask people what they think of this.
Today we're going to be trying to answer a very important question. How do people heal? Is it spiritually, medically, and do these things go hand in hand together? To answer that question, we're going to be asking people on the street with my mic, Mike Tyson. What does spiritual healing mean to you?
It's more like an inner thing.
I think it's a lot about emotions and making sure your emotions are in check.
Healing in private, you take your time to do your own things. For me, I just sleep.
Go to a place where you can see the ocean, hear the waves.
You can positively react to negative experiences, then I think that's a sign of good spiritual health.
Where my mic go?
Do you think that spiritual healing and medical healing go hand in hand?
No.
For me, it's yes.
Not really. Spiritual healing does not need medicine.
It's very important to have a good sense of spiritual health when it comes to getting well medically as well.
Kalau ambil ubat tu untuk sekejap je kot. Medical is a short time.
Whoa, that's a very big dog!
So that's what people think about healing, whether it's spiritual, whether it's medical, and whether they fall hand in hand together. Thank you for listening, and back to you, Dew.
Listen to me, if you do that ever again, by the next episode, you don't have a job. Okay? Don't run again. Okay?
If you're hanging out with bad friends, they will tell you that healing only costs $50 at Geylang Lorong 12. Ketawa lah, Sasa.
Oh, boleh ketawa.
Boleh. And we would like to talk to some experts now about the topic, and we have two very special guests with us. Our first one is Ustazah Nur Hidayah. She's actually a content creator who shares daily reflections on Instagram, inspiring others to embrace new experiences with Allah in Allah's plan. A graduate of Madrasah Al-Junaid Al-Islamiyah and the University of Malaya with the BA in, oh my god, the words are very big. I hope I don't get this wrong. Usuluddin. Okay. That means Al-Quran and Hadith. She encourages living in courage and purpose. And for our second guest, her name is Dr. Sharifah. She's a family physician and a graduate of St. George University of London. And she's also accredited with the College of Family Physicians Singapore. Certified in lifestyle medicine and health coaching, she promotes holistic well-being through sustainable practices, gut health, and community initiatives. Thank you guys for coming. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. You guys know the topic today, so we're going to talk a little bit about healing. And healing, that there's two things when we think about healing, right? One is healing in our lifetime, and one healing for the afterlife, right? And I guess and I'm going to begin this topic by asking you guys, what does healing actually mean in Islam?
Okay, so healing is a very beautiful thing. It's something that needs to be approached holistically. I think a lot of times when we say, healing in Islam means it's something that is just spiritual. But what Islam invites us to do is to be able to approach healing in various aspects, right? From our soul, from our mind, from our body. And if we are able to do that in a holistic manner, then that is what healing is all about. And interestingly, the Quran also says that it is shifa'un wa rahmah. It is a form of healing, and it is also a form of mercy for humankind. So that really tells us that every single human being, we need some form of healing. But again, the approach will always need to be holistic. Right?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, I'm trained in lifestyle medicine. It's exactly what we encourage as well for our patients. So it's not just about physical health, but also mental well-being, emotional well-being. So we look at all kinds of things, like even sleep, stress, social connections, how you're related to people who actually make you feel good about yourself. So all these things come into the being of a person, in holistic in that sense. So I completely agree with Ustazah.
So you said lifestyle medicine. What does that mean?
So I prescribe, you know, like how if you have a fever or pain, then doctor prescribes you Panadol, 2 tablets 4 times a day. So in the same way, I prescribe food, I prescribe exercise, sleep in that same way. So maybe a cup of berries 3 times a day, 3 times a week, and that can be for, you know, any of your chronic conditions, because it has antioxidants, it has vitamins, minerals, all kinds of things to help actually boost your immunity. So I don't just prescribe medicine, I prescribe lifestyle habits.
You know what I thought? I thought lifestyle medicine is like people go and see you, then you say you just go and take a walk.
No lah, more than that. I actually go very specifics into the kind of movement you can do, very tailored to the patient itself. Like the guidelines will say like 150 minutes exercise a week. But what's 150 minutes for you and you is very different from me as well. So it's very specific, the exercises that I would prescribe.
Can you give us an example? So like when people come to you, what are they going through and what do you prescribe?
Okay, so there was this lady who came in for indigestion. So, you know, gastric symptoms and all that. So she skips her meals. So what I prescribed for her, she likes beans. So, and it's also a good source of protein. So I told her, okay, why don't you go for soya beans? You go for edamame beans. Those are her favorite kinds of beans. So I tell her, okay, why don't you have like a cup, maybe 3 times a week first, you try. And then have it frequently. So as your snack as well, you could have it. So she started having that, and then slowly she went to like daily. So after that, her indigestion actually got quite better. She didn't even need her medications. So I treat that as a win.
Okay, now that's very much clearer. So it's like, in a way, you also behave like a dietitian.
Ish.
Okay.
Not trying to put them out of jobs, but you know.
Understand. Okay, let's talk about healing for dunya first. And I guess in my head, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Healing for dunya is, for example, I have past mistakes that I have done where I cannot forgive myself, and I need to forgive myself now to move in further. To live life in a more peaceful manner. And healing for akhirat is basically doing my duties as a Muslim before I die. And I guess maybe we can start with, what does healing for dunya look like?
From the Islamic perspective?
Yeah, from the Islamic perspective.
I think from the lens of like the Quran and the Hadith, what we find is that, you know, life in itself is a test. Like God has mentioned it in the Quran as a form of a promise, where we'll be tested in so many ways. So in many ways, tests will continue to happen. With regards to healing, what led us to healing is first the point of pain, I feel, because you'll be experiencing pain through like the relationships that you have with people, the things that you go through on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of us are looking for that, you know, sense of healing in this life. And I think it's beautiful how, as I mentioned earlier, the Quran was sent down as a form of healing and mercy, because God knows that we need this, because part of the test of this life is that we will get hurt in many ways, in many forms. But we want to ensure that healing, we find it in God, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because one of Allah's names is He is Ash-Shafi. So Ash-Shafi means the healer. So in the same way how I am looking for healing in my life, I also want to find that healing first in the one who can provide that healing, and that is Allah. And I really love how our doctor mentioned about utilizing nature's ingredients for lifestyle, for healing. And I think that is also a reflection of God's mercy, to know that He put us here, we'll be tested, we need healing, but the things that we have in this world can help us with that healing.
He gives us the resources for it, right?
Yeah.
What about you? Like, healing in the lifetime can mean so many things, right? And for you, in your profession, what are some things that people, let's say I'm at home, I'm finding ways to heal. What are some simpler ways for me to heal myself?
Usually we would discuss things like yoga, meditation, deep breathing techniques. So I teach a lot of deep breathing techniques in my clinic because they're very short and simple. I show them on YouTube. They can go home and do on their own. And then sometimes if people are very strong in their faith, depending on what their faiths are, then I would tell them to turn back to their religion, to their faith, because I feel like, as a Muslim myself, I really hold on to my faith very strongly. So I look towards the Quran, for help, or like, zikir and things like that, because, like what Ustazah mentioned as well, the Quran is like a shifa, right? So I really believe in that. So in the same way, I feel like my patients who are like Christians or Catholics, they also say the same thing. Sometimes they can find healing in their Bible or when they go to their cell groups and things like that. So I encourage them to just go forward, find what makes you good, feel good about yourself, surround yourself with people like that. And that's like a form of nourishment as well, isn't it?
I actually have might be out of topic, okay, but there's this flower bath thing.
Flower bath.
Yeah, so people either do it in Singapore or they go to Bali and they mask it as healing. And I have seen so many Muslim people do it. I don't know if you know about this. They enter the water and then there's mandi bunga lah.
Yeah, I was thinking mandi bunga, but I felt like you were going to somewhere else.
No.
No, it's exactly the same mandi bunga.
Yeah, mandi bunga, right? And I'm not sure what religion or what beliefs mandi bunga is, but what are your thoughts as experts in healing about this mandi bunga thing?
Ustazah first? No. I'd like to hear from you first.
Okay, I think at the end of the day, religion, it centers around the importance of intentions lah. Like, why do you want to do a certain thing? A simple thing like taking a bath, everybody can do, right? And there is no like specific ruling that is tied to it because it's just a bath. But when you put it in a certain context, only then it will change. So for example, imagine I go for this healing bath, but it's just a pool of poison, for example, poisonous water. So automatically, the bath that you are taking is actually harmful, right? It's prohibited because you're actually harming your body. So I think the way we take a look at mandi bunga itself, it also has like its cultural practices to it, right? Like how some of our grandmothers, they would use that to actually help their bodies to smell nice. It's part of their weekly practices for beauty, for example. So I think how you approach the mandi bunga, it really is dependent on like your intentions. Like if I'm doing this for like the medical sense, if I'm doing this for healing, for example, certain bodily aspects of myself, then definitely it's something that you can pursue. Maybe the flower has like some natural oils to it that can heal the body. Antioxidants, right? So then that could be helpful for the body. But if let's say I'm saying that I'm going to perform this mandi bunga, because there's this some superstitious intentions
I think
behind
mostly
it.
people are saying that, right?
Then that is where the no comes in lah, because you are doing it for a purpose or a reason that is not allowed lah in our religion.
But what if it's the purpose is correct? Like I want to heal, I want to be a better person, but the ritual belongs to another religion. Is that a sin?
I think this is where we need to turn to our doctors and our experts to understand better about that activity in itself.
Okay.
I think it's easy to just say that, this is a practice of a different religion, so therefore it's a no-no. But actually there are many like similar or shared cultures that we have with other races, other religions. And again, it always goes back to the purpose. Why am I doing this? And is any part of doing this activity resembling, for example, a certain religious practice per se?
Actually, from a medical stance, being in lifestyle medicine and all this, I would have said, if it makes you feel good, why not just do it, If it has no religious connotation, not that I know of, and Ustazah has kindly clarified for us as well. If it makes you feel good about yourself, if it helps you with your emotional well-being, your mental and your physical well-being, then why not? I don't see any harm in it.
Because I've seen some, they call it rituals, right? And sometimes it looks scary. And I don't know if you've seen the videos before. So there's that one, there's mandi bunga, right? And then there's this other one where it was like some sound healing thing. So I believe in sound healing because when you listen to vibrations and everything, it sounds good. But some, they are shamans or whatever they want to call themselves, and you lie down on the bed and then they don't even touch you, and then they do this, and then the people start vibrating.
Yeah, so I think that goes back to what Ustazah was saying, right, about the intention, and then if it resembles another religion, because shamans, what are they exactly chanting, right? If you chant like Bismillah, Bismillah or something, maybe that's a bit different.
Yeah, okay. So then, sorry, to concise this, if my intention is correct, if let's say I want to just heal myself and there is no other religion involved or no other practices involved, it is okay.
Yeah, I think what is helpful is to also look into what you're trying to do.
Okay.
I think it's easier to just follow trends like, oh, everybody is doing this bath, that I also want to do this bath. Maybe it's going to work for me.
Yeah.
But it's to understand better where is this coming from, what are the components of it, what is being recited, what are the things that are used. And I think you going into that practice will also be like a clear experience, because you know that this is the reason why it is part of that process of that bath lah.
Because some people also go there and then they drink the water from the... Sorry, they bathe in the temple water and everything. Okay, I know Bali is Buddhism. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's called the Barong or whatever it is. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know when I look at it, it does not seem like it's a correct thing to do lah.
It doesn't sound hygienic. You bathe in
That's
it, you
one,
drink
and it doesn't sound Islam lah or Muslim lah. Because I'll be scared, right? Like how, you know, like sometimes in school they ask you to go to the churches or in less morning sermons and everything, and then you just sit there. Even though you don't join in, you still feel bad for, like you feel like you're doing something wrong, you know. So when I see people do this, I'm like, okay, it's a bit weird. But no, thank you so much for clarifying. I guess at the end of the day, it's the intention, guys. If there is no other gods around, you're safe. But anything, I mean, if you guys have specifics, you guys can DM them lah. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about healing for the afterlife. Because I myself, let me assume, okay, healing for the afterlife is I have to complete 7 things as a Muslim before I die, right? Is it 7 things?
Which is?
Fasting, Umrah,
Okay.
not nafkah, what's that, the donations? Is it?
Zakat.
Okay. The others I don't know. Praying 5 times a day. Yeah.
I was thinking you're referring to the 5 pillars.
Yeah.
It's 5 things.
You're referring to the 5 pillars of Islam. I don't know. I've never heard of the 7 things before I die. Like,
Yeah.
Never?
No, we've never heard. Yeah.
I thought we have to do the... Okay, then I'm wrong.
I think it's the 5 pillars of Islam.
Okay,
Like,
which is?
like to testify about the oneness of God and that the Prophet is a messenger of God, and then followed by your 5 daily prayers, fasting the month of Ramadan, and then doing your almsgiving or your zakat, and then go for Hajj, pilgrimage.
Oh, so
I think you're referring to this.
And I have to do this before I die, right?
It's part of the way we live our life. But it's not like a checklist per se, like, oh, I need to complete 5, only then we can die. But it's part of our life.
Then I was so wrong. I thought, you know, when people ask me, when the non-Muslims ask me, oh, why do people go to Hajj? I say, oh, it's just something that they need to do before they die. So is that a correct answer or a wrong answer?
It's a process lah, not really completion lah. It's a process. Preparing yourself for the afterlife. For the hereafter. Preparation.
Okay, so then, what does healing for the afterlife actually look like?
So healing for the afterlife, to me personally, it's about nourishing yourself, you know, like looking after yourself in this world, so that when you go back and you return to Allah, inshallah, then you know you show how grateful that you have been for the blessings that He has given you, like this body, this air to breathe, the sight, your sense of hearing, sense of smell, all these things, you know. So in terms of like, so really it's like nourishing is really like, you know, just looking after yourself. Your body is your amanah, you know. I tell that to my Muslim patients a lot. You know, you have to be very responsible for the body that Allah has given us. You don't want to wait until you're sick and then only you seek treatment. Even when you're sick, I had this patient earlier this week, he had a stroke right in front of me. I think deep in his heart, he knows he is a stroke, but he still didn't want to go A&E. So it was really, really hard trying to pujuk him, you know. But alhamdulillah, after a while, he managed to go. But it really took a while to just, you know, even get him. And I was thinking to myself, like, this is a stroke, you know, how more serious can it get? You know, how more sick do you want to be?
Sorry for laughing, but that's crazy. I know, but I think the reason why I laugh is because I realized a lot of people from the generation before us, they're very embarrassed to be sick.
I think so. Can I say it's a man thing?
You can.
Are you going to be offended?
It is
I feel like there's a male ego, you know.
It is. You know, there's my friend's dad who went on a boat and he had seasick. Die also don't want to take the seasick pill. Die also don't want, you know.
Why?
I don't know. And then last time I had aunties and uncles who are obviously also very sick, got diabetes and everything. Die also don't want to check. And die also don't want anybody to know. So I think it's really an ego thing. So now with what you said, right, with that logic, right? Well, if let's say we do not take care of our body and before we die, and let's say we fall sick, let's say we got diabetes, we got whatever, high cholesterol, we got AIDS or whatever, is that a sin then?
That's a good question. Even I wondered that actually. Is it a sin if you don't look after?
I really love that you just shared your points earlier. It's just a straight up reminder telling us that our bodies and ourselves is something that is loaned by God, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, I do not own this body. Whatever it is that I have, I do not own it. Ownership only belongs to Allah. I'm here to utilize this body that I have on this earth to do what I need to do on this earth. And I really love that, when our doctor shared about when I meet God, when I meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala later on, how do I want to present myself? How do I want to show that, okay, God, this is the body that you have given me, and this was how best that I took care of it. So probably we might not be able to straight away answer that question like, oh, if I die in a certain sickness, then is it like a form of sin? But the process of getting there is something that we need to be mindful of. Whether have I taken care of this body, because at the end of the day, this body belongs to Allah. Have I ensured that I've done my due diligence, because as the Prophet ﷺ also said, our body has a right over us. So it means that I have some duties that I need to observe to take care of my body, because my body is a form of responsibility. And when I do not take care of that responsibility, then that is also a form of displeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He wants us to take care of this body, but it's not for Him really, it's for our
yourself,
own good.
yeah. But that's why alcohol is haram. That's why smoking is not advisable, because it harms the body.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Because what it sounds like is like, oh my God, this body is loaned. It's like you loan a car, you return, and if there's damages, you pay for it. In the afterlife, if I return the body not as what it used to be, what sorts of payment do I get? So there's not exactly written lah. It's just that we are just told to take care of our body lah.
It's in the prophetic narrations lah, on taking care of our body.
But the punishment is not written lah. They never say like, if you don't take care, you return, and then you go to hell or...
Oh, this is your fine.
What about the rewards?
Okay.
What about the rewards for actually looking after your body? Is that written?
Yep,
there are rewards.
Yeah, I think everything goes back to the understanding that whatever that I want to do in this life is supposed to be pleasing to God, pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because that entails for me two things lah. One would be his pleasure. The other one would be his love. His pleasure or his rida, because that is actually the key to paradise. And his love is because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves a servant, He would definitely give them the best in both worlds lah, in this life and in the next. So that should be the way how we proceed in life, regardless of how we take care of our bodies, how we take care of our relationships, how we take care of the earth even.
What if I do plastic surgery then? Like I am technically taking care of my body because I look good in this life.
Got medical indication or not?
I have a deviated septum, so I went to do my nose.
Yeah.
It's a sin lah, right?
Deviated septum can, right? Medical indication
As long as there's
for
a
breathing.
Medical reason. Yes, so I have a doctor here.
Goes back to the niyat, right?
Yeah,
Ustazah?
the niyat,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, let's move on to talking about aging gracefully. And you wrote a book
Yeah, I
about
did.
aging gracefully.
So-
Come tell us about the book.
Okay, so this book is titled Hikmah Senja. So it's a collection of stories, advices from various experts we have. So it's not just, even though it's from MHPA, a healthcare professional organisation, we also have non-healthcare professionals like lawyers, finance analysts. We have an ustad, who wrote on spiritual health as well, how our body is an amanah, how we should look after ourselves according to the Islamic principles. So even medical stuff is there, of course, because it's a healthcare book. So we wanted people to not wait until they age, they get very old, very sick, and then only they start looking after themselves. We wanted them to look after themselves in their younger years, because in Singapore, we have this rapidly aging community, and then only when people start falling sick and elderly and all that, then they realize, oh, I've got all these chronic conditions, who's going to look after me? So we talk about advanced care planning, we talk about palliative care. So all these things that are very real, very on the ground, but not very much talked about, especially in our community. So we touched all that in this book. And I would like to give one to you. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Here you go.
Let me just read the synopsis for the people. Hikmah Senja is more than just a guidebook. It's a companion in your quest for a healthier, happier life. Whether you are a seasoned health enthusiast or someone taking the first steps towards wellness, our hope is that you find something of value within these pages. a nugget of wisdom, a spark of inspiration, or perhaps a shift in perspective that leads to a positive change. How do they find this?
If you look for MHPA or you look for me.
Okay, we'll put
'cause
it in the description box below lah.
Yeah, we only, because this book was actually published last year, so we've been giving out in all our events, MHPA events, so we don't really have very many left.
Okay.
But if you would like, just reach out and then inshallah we can try to, get you a copy.
A final question. I'm still on the topic of healing, right? How do we heal for dunya without forgetting like akhirat?
I really love that question. Because a lot of times when we say dunya, when we say akhirah, when we say this life, the afterlife, we always separate these two things. Like, oh, this is for my deen, then this is for my dunya. This is for this world, and then this is for the hereafter.
Okay.
But
I do
reality
none
is,
of them, by the way.
Okay.
Because this is new information to me. I don't know that people do this.
Oh, okay.
Like you heal for the dunya and heal for akhirat?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they dichotomize, right?
Yes, definitely. And I think that shouldn't be the way, because when we learn from the religion, it tells us that whatever that we do for this life is actually for the life in the hereafter. Like,
Okay.
after all, this life is temporary, and there will be an end, but the eternal life will be the one in the hereafter. And that, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, right, kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib aw 'abir sabil, to be in this world as if you are a stranger or a traveler, meaning you are only here just for a moment, a stop. Just think about, since you mentioned a lot of Bali references, right? So when you go for Bali holiday, for example, you check in a hotel, you don't buy furniture for the hotel, right?
Okay.
Right? You're in that room, you don't paint the walls, you don't change the layout of things,
Yeah.
because you know you're going to be there just for 1 week.
Yes.
And then you will eventually leave to return back to your home.
Yeah.
And that is the concept of life, that I am only here. It's just a stop for me to collate as much as good deeds, as much as rewards as I'm able to, and to be able to bring it to the life in the hereafter. So I think when we want to approach this is to understand that whatever I do right now is to benefit myself now and to benefit myself in the hereafter. Which is why we find prophetic narrations that tell us that every moment of discomfort, even to the prick of a thorn. Have you ever been pricked by a thorn before?
I actually fell on it before and my entire face got...
Astaghfirullah. Okay. So prick of a thorn, prick of a needle, it's something that it feels like a hurt that is small, because when I look at my life, I have bigger issues to face. But the Prophet reminds us that hatta ashauka yushakuha, even down to the prick of a thorn, every moment of discomfort is actually a moment of expiation of sins. So like, okay, I'm getting discomfort right now, I'm moving towards healing right now, I'm hurting right now, but wait a minute, this hurt is purposeful, because it is a means of expiation of sins for the life in the next.
Oh my God, now I get it. Now it makes so much sense. Because, okay, I'm going to give you an example, okay? We are on loan of this life. And I guess healing for akhirat is basically me collecting pahala. Me doing good deeds. We say good pahala. But we not necessarily get anything back in return. This is basically healing for afterlife, where I collect points and doing all these things. This is afterlife.
For the forever home.
Okay. Me doing a good deed in the world now makes me a better person. At the same time, I collect the points for the afterlife. Yeah, I'm 10% a better Muslim now.
Alhamdulillah.
See the mindset shift.
And for you, how does science and faith overlap each other when it comes to healing for like the afterlife?
I feel like they complement each other so well. There's this phrase, I don't know who said it, maybe the Prophet Muhammad SAW, maybe he said it, there's a cure for every disease except death. Yeah, so I really, as a scientist, not scientist so much, as a researcher, as a doctor, I really believe in that saying, like even though I see around me there are many conditions that we cannot explain yet, Western medicine, but we are getting there, inshallah. Every day we learn new things, new information, new research. But I feel like, I just had this one patient today actually, this uncle, he's not Muslim. So he was telling me, doctor, I Google so many things, I read all these medical articles. I think the bottom line that all these medical things are trying to tell me is that at the end of the day, it's not about the medicines. It's about how you eat, how you sleep, how you move. Now it's like, wow, uncle, this is so good. Like, this is exactly what I've been preaching, exactly what I want people to know. And I'm so glad you got it. I was like, I couldn't have said it better myself. It really complements each other. you know. So like even with my Muslim patients, I'll tell them if you eat better, you move better, you sleep better, you can do your ibadah better. Because you know, as you get older, people have aches and pains and all that. So I tell them get out, move, exercise. So all this helps with, you know, your daily rituals as a Muslim as well. You can fast better, things like that. So if I relate it back to Islam, I feel like there's a lot more buy-in.
I also feel like people downplay exercise, and let me give them an example, right? So I've met people who they are so big in size that they can't even pray. Like when they bend their knees, it hurts. Yeah. So I guess that's how I correlate these two. I mean, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't even practice what you need to practice. And I know you can pray like sitting down, whatever, if you have a serious condition. But you know, if like you're too big to even bend down, that's a you problem.
And what about like, you know, going for Hajj and things like that? So you want to be able to go for Hajj. A lot of people, they want to go for Hajj, right? So it's not just about financial means as well. It's about physically, mentally. So like HPB, Muiz, they have this annual program, Get Fit for Hajj. So we actually train, or we speak to prospective pilgrims for the year, and we tell them, you know, all the ways they can look after themselves and how they should look after themselves even before the Hajj. So start eating properly, you know, moving properly, sleeping properly, and things like that. Just so when you get there, inshallah, you'll be in like a very good state of mind, body, and soul to actually perform your rituals.
Okay, might be unrelated to this topic. I want to ask you about halal medicines.
What's halal medicines?
You know, like there are some pills or whatever it is, right? And then
Made from pork, is it?
no, it's not even made from pork, but people always ask, is this halal? Is this halal? Is this halal?
Yeah.
Like there are some like slimming pills. There even like fish oil where people ask, is this halal?
Yeah, because sometimes the component where they wrap the medicine in, the active ingredient, sometimes that's made of gelatin. So you have to ask, the gelatin, is it bovine? Is it porcine? Is it from horse? So I guess if I know, then obviously I would tell them. So some capsule medications, you got to be quite careful. Vaccines, but let's not get there, okay? Maybe you strike that. Because I am promoting vaccines, okay? So I really want everybody to get vaccinated. Whatever you need, please get it done. So I'm not going to touch on vaccines.
I want to talk to you about the vaccine, but we do it outside of camera. Yeah, we do it outside of camera.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we ran out of time. We ran out of time. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge. I learned quite a few things. And the first thing that I learned that, you know, whatever I thought I had to do before I die was just the 5 pillars of Islam. I don't know who the hell told me the information, and I went to just spread this information without any knowledge. The second thing I learned is that now I think I fully understand why we need to keep ourselves healthy and what does it mean to actually live for the afterlife and live for now. I think it really correlates to each other. Again, thank you guys so much.
No problem.
If you guys are looking for this book, we will leave the details in the description box below. As we mentioned, there's not a lot left, and we will leave her details in the description box below, so you guys can contact her if you guys want this book. I have my own reflections about the conversation we just had, but I'll leave that to the end of the show. But to you guys watching, please do not leave, because we still have a mystery guest that I do not know about, and he or she is going to give you a weekly roundup of the news.
Hi Zaidean. So the question is why people should join Zaidean Official?
I would say that we have a framework from you starting your RES exam. We conduct RES revision. After that, we are the only group that actually provide training hands-on, and we also have a system for these new people which we call Learn As You Earn. So which means they do not need to worry if they don't have leads. At the point when they join, they are able to serve our leads. We not only focus on warm leads, we focus on cold leads. How they are able to deliver in terms of their so-called pitch or talking to new customers. We not only provide workshop or training, we provide mentoring or coaching on a monthly or half-yearly or even yearly basis. You need to ensure that every month these people are able to achieve their goal. The key thing for us is with this system, we need to ensure that these people, they are ready not only to do HDB but also private. So this is what makes us very, very different in the market out there. You should join Zaidean Official if you have seen that we always not only conduct training, we do it consistently. easily.
Just extra question for the previous agents. Is there any success rate that you want to share with us?
I would say that everyone's in Zaidean squad. When they first join Zaidean, in their first 30 days, they will have at least one closing.
So good.
And we also train that it's not only sometimes agent nowadays must be in social media to talk in front of cameras. And some of you may not know how to talk in front of camera, but to generate leads, maybe you can generate leads from other sources, from other avenues. You can get lead from offline, show them how to, and we also bring them how to do it also.
Assalamualaikum everyone, it's Sophie and this is the Weekly Dean Show News, where we look at this week's headlines and the things your group chat got slightly wrong. Starting at home, our friends at Zaidean Properties just bagged another community award. They've helped more families move this year than HDB's resale queue. This segment is brought to you by Zaidean, matching homes to hearts, minus the drama. And across the causeway, Malaysia's PM Anwar Ibrahim hosted Donald Trump at the Asian Summit. And yes, there were dancers, drums, and even a little jig. Critics called it too festive given Washington's stance on Gaza, but Anwar said Malaysia weren't playing favourites. They signed a deal with China and also invited Brazil and South Africa. He even raised Gaza with Trump in the limo, because nothing says diplomacy than talking inside a moving vehicle. Love him or not, Malaysia's definitely got the world's attention, and maybe a few TikToks. ASEAN also pushed forward its women, peace and security agenda, calling for more women in decision-making. And it's about time. We've been mediating conflict since forever. Maybe minus about thinking where to eat. Let's just say, if women did run ceasefires, they start and end on time. Back at home, culture season is in full swing. Singapore's Biennale 2025 kicks off on October 31st with the theme Pure Intention, celebrating SG60. Expect poetry by migrant workers, an open-air library at Wessex Estate, and kinetic art that literally moves. Early bird SAM tickets out now, $15 till October 30th. Then there's Baby, it's 2025, Asia's loudest free festival. Think silica gel from Korea, Mouse on the Keys from Japan, Sandwich from the Philippines, and our local legends, A Vacant Affair and Wish. Basically, if your ears aren't ringing by Sunday, you did it wrong. And since it's Halloween weekend, enjoy the scares, but remember, spooky is fun, stupid is viral. Stay safe, ghosts. And finally, a viral clip from Medina shows a Muslim man praying for a Hindu saint's recovery. Different faiths, same heart. Proof that the best da'wah isn't loud, it's lived. So that's your weekly Dean Digest, from property wins to power moves, art and music, and a touch of mercy. I'm Sophie, stay grounded, stay grateful, and if you're wearing wings this weekend, please look out for the elevator doors. Back to you, Dew.
So after the episode, I think I've learned a few things. Or rather, the biggest thing that I learned is that actually taking care of yourself is more than just actually taking care for yourself. It's the actions that you do that prepares you for the afterlife. The example that I gave, the actions that you do can collect you points for the afterlife. So it doesn't hurt to be kind to people, and it doesn't hurt to do nice things for people. Adding on, staying healthy also helps you practice your faith in Islam. Again, for example, praying. There's a lot of movements when we pray. You need to squat, you need to stand up, and then you need to sujud, and you need to stand up again. You do it for 4 to 5 times in one session. That takes a lot. So if you take care of yourself, you can carry out your practices in a safe manner and in a more smooth manner. And tonight it reminded me that these two are not separate. Healing for dunya and healing for afterlife is actually not separate. Healing your body can be worship, healing your heart can be medicine. And healing your soul prepares you for the next life. So the takeaway is simple. Number 1, care for your health. It's amanah. Number 2, care for your soul. It's your ticket to akhirat. Lastly, don't treat them as separate ways. They are one. And that's all the time we have for you today. To our guests who came in, thank you so much for spreading your knowledge, and thank you so much for teaching me that the 5 pillars of Islam is actually not the things you need to do before you die. I actually have no idea who taught me that. But I am Dew Francis. This is the Weekly Dean Show. Assalamualaikum, and we'll see you next week.
Healing doesn't have to be something that is grand. It's always the little things that you can do for yourself every single day. So always ask yourself, what can I do to heal my body, my mind, and my soul today, inshallah.
Healing is like nourishment for your mind, body, and your soul. I feel like Islam and healing, they go together. Our lifestyles, they go together. So they all complement each other, you know, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, all this impacts you as a Muslim, but also as a person in this dunya, in this temporary world. So it's important, you know, to look after ourselves, both in this life and the hereafter.